Okay, me and Bear are working on this one together. Correct or no? Sure. Okay. What in the world justified from the Bible why a Christian should understand and use science? If God put us on this earth to reign and have dominion over the earth and replenish and renew the earth, have a ruling thing over it and protect and keep the earth going. Science with the View summarize the distinctives of a Christian worldview. Well, a Christian worldview is that God made it. God made the world. He created it. He's in rule over it. He's in control. He controls how it happens. Even natural disasters, even though due to the fall, we are all here and he controls the natural disasters and the fall, after the fall, and natural disasters and stuff. They did come into the world, but he is in control of it. Christian worldview is that he made it, made the world, and he is in creation and is in control of it. And then contrast a Christian with a non-Christian view of science. Okay, contrast a Christian with a non-Christian's point of view of science. Well, a Christian's view of science. I'm gonna look this one up.
A Christian's view of science is from the beginning, which basically not really portrays the sign of God. It's more of a explanation on what we're about, what we're here to do, what we're from.
So what do you remember?
We're supposed to explore God's world, find out how it works, and use that and take care of the world, more than a non-Christian view of the world, which is just discover and use that to their own benefits. Unlike us, where we use it for God's benefits. And yes, this is recorded. And then I say that answer. An observable thing or object or person is called a phenomenon. By workable, it is called a phenomenon. Well, this is an easy question. When a scientist can explain a phenomenon, when a scientist tries to explain or create a phenomenon, he constructs scientific models. Models represents phenomenons, and that is the easiest way to say this answer is scientists to explain and create phenomenons or describe them or use it in stuff. They use models to describe it. There are different kinds of models. For example, there are physical models.
Conceptual models. A physical model, we build and it basically means of a foreign molecule to place on our desk. But it will be just a simplified representation to help us understand its overall shape.
Okay, and a virtual model is what they called in the 90s for Windows XP, where they would use digital diagrams and models to show atoms and stuff. In this book, I can see that just from looking at it. I don't even have to go into detail about what a virtual model is.
Basically, a virtual model doesn't exist in the real world.
Okay, and conceptual models are used for math equations to describe science and explanations. And that's about it for this entire question. Use digital diagrams and models to show atoms and stuff. In this book, I can see that just from looking at it. I don't even have to go into detail about what a virtual model is. And then we have...
Basically, a virtual model doesn't exist in the real world.
Conceptual models are used for math equations to describe science and explanations. And that's about it for this entire question. If a scientific fact is true, then there should be no problem finding the answer within the scientific kinds of knowledge. Over the centuries, people's scientific knowledge has changed. At one time, humanity thought that the Earth was the center of the universe, but then it was flat. But over time, science discovered the Earth was round, and we were not the center of the universe, it was the sun. And stuff about that.
Solar system? Or center of our solar system.
The center of our solar system is the sun. We thought at one time it was the Earth, and then it explains here all about that and how he put models out and did it. Then in the 16th century, this guy, the Polish solar separatists, suggested a system with the sun in the center of all planets, which is what I was saying, which is his heliocentric model, which was heliocentric model. Thank you. And then it talks about how he did it, which is more accurate and easier to use geometric one, but it was somewhat simpler than Galileo and all those other people. Provide new evidence that the model was to explain. I don't know how he used the model to find out how it was, but it just says he does. Scientific revelation. It's happened many times in all areas of science through history, so the idea that science built up towards the ultimate truth. Okay. Scientific revelation is after all of the scientific knowledge that Christians put together, and then it explains the truth to the world in a way. And that was the end for this question, which was contrast the main kinds of scientific knowledge. Well, the final question for Science with a View is compare operational and historical science. Well, I just read about this, and I'm going to tell you about it. Operational science is science, literally, this is just what I read it. Operational science is modern science operating in the real world for Christians. And historical science was how we operated in the past. I'm not kidding, that is literally, my mind is blown because that's the entire answer.